Hi everyone. Sunday, bit different for us today, so we thought we'd pop an extra show in this week for a Sunday. Hi Mark, how you going? First in tonight. Feels like it's not that long since I talked to you. Tonight we've got an extra show because Benny is releasing a single this week, and we thought we'd throw him on in the deep end and have a chat to him about it. So we will be here tomorrow. Hi Emily. Tomorrow we will be still on. We'll have the pigs as well. So tonight's just an extra one. And for those of you that can watch us live, that's brilliant. And for those that are watching later on, thank you again. And you can still comment and we will still get the messages if you want to ask something. So what's everyone been doing for the weekend? Working, live shows? Let us know where you've been and what you've been up to. We'll give everyone a second to tune in and then we'll bring Benny into the room. I also wanted to have a chat to you guys. We had the poll running across the different platforms last week for the show times, and we actually ended up with a complete tie. It was exactly even on the 7:30s and the 8 o'clock. So what I'm thinking we might do is meet in the middle and do a 7:45 show, which gives everyone that little bit earlier for a Monday night, but not too bad. Hi Dave, how you going? So we'll look at doing that. We have quite a few artists booked in that probably can't necessarily change if they've arranged their day around the show. So it'll be 8 o'clock again tomorrow, and then we'll look at that. But we'll pop that up on the page in the times just to let you know each week until we roll around to people that we didn't have booked in before the time change. All right, we might bring Benny into the room and have a chat to him. Hi, how you going?
G'day, Danny. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining.
Oh, no, I really appreciate you making time to have a chat to me today.
Oh, we were excited. It was great. We're really excited. You've got a new single coming up and a fantastic album, so it's brilliant. Hi, Michael. We've got quite a few people joining. Now, I don't think you can read the comments, but I can pop them up on the screen for you. And also, if you've got, I don't know if you've got your phone, but you can see them on the live feed. So we've got a few people popping in at the moment. We've got Michael and Dave.
G'day, Dave. Hey, Michael.
And Emily. Quite a few people joining in at the moment. So, and people from YouTube as well. So we can talk to them as we go. So if you guys have any questions, pop them up and we will try to answer them. So tell us a little bit. You released an album in November, and that was then you had your what's the release party, I guess, in Tamworth. So tell us a little bit about how the album went when you released it and what's been happening since.
I've just been on the most amazing ride in the last sort of look, it's the last 18 months to 2 years, but now it really is. That last 6 months since we released the album has just been absolutely crazy. We released Never Knew I Was Country, the album, like you said, in November last year, and it debuted in the top 10 of the iTunes album charts, made it to number 7 throughout that release weekend, and absolutely blew me away. And the feedback and response from everyone's just been amazing. But we actually did an album launch in November when it was released down here in Melbourne at one of my local venues. And wow. that was it was so much fun just because, again, local friends and family and fans, that came along to that. We had a great night. Oh. But I also knew that I wanted to do a album release up in Tamworth at the festival. And so we decided to make it into an album launch party, which the good people at Moonshiners were good enough to let us use their fantastic venue. And one of the best things about it, the air conditioning there is superb. Which for people that have been to Tamworth in summer, it is definitely needed.
I can understand that fully in Tamworth. If you can find a place that's got an air conditioning, you'll stay there whether you like the music or not. I'll be honest.
Absolutely. And look, it was such a fun launch. We had, obviously my album was played through in its entirety, but also had some other friends of mine from Melbourne, a duo called Solely Us.
Yes.
were up for their first festival. So I had them open the show up there. And then also partway through, we had a friend of mine that I met at the Academy of Country Music, Brittany Elise. She was actually releasing her first single that weekend, and she was through the roof with it. And so we had her come along and play, partway through the show as well. So it was a bit like, for me, one of the best things about going to Tamworth is the amount of times that you go to see someone play, and then you have those pop-ups where they call up their other friends and the other musos. And so it was just, it had that same sort of vibe to it. It was just so much fun, just having fun, playing music and really enjoying it.
It would just, that's exactly right. That feeling in Tamworth, that is one of the main things that makes you want to just keep going back, because you just never know what you're going to see. But it would have just been absolutely amazing. People watching that are just music lovers and playing with people that you love, it would have been insane. We've just had Beck has popped in to say hi, and Michael has popped up a question, and he said, "What plans have you got for gigs?"
I'm getting asked that a bit at the moment, because I'm doing a little bit of radio in terms of promoting the new single, and it's something that I've realised I've sort of let slip, unfortunately, with all the promotion we've been doing for the singles, as well as just fitting in life in general. For those that don't know, I've got a couple of kids as well, and so you just got to fit in life, the universe, and everything around trying to promote music and get things out there. So I haven't actually been on the road much. Last year, prior to doing the album, we did my Trade Top tour of Victoria, where loaded the piano and the guitar into the back of the ute and drove around to anywhere that would have me, and played music. Looking at the moment, we're starting to do some planning. We've got a concept that I like the idea of, which is to do a ballads and breweries tour.
Oh wow! Can I come?
Yeah, that's the response we keep getting from everyone. So that's exactly what we're after. We're looking at it and just going, you know what? It sort of fits the vibe of what I do. And I know at one stage I've had quite a few people turn to me and go, "Geez, you write quite a few songs about drinking." But yeah, that's how I go to the country.
They should be able to. You should be able to get all these brewers to sponsor you, because I sing for you, and hopefully they'll sell some of their alcohol as well, so they can sponsor your tour.
Well, that's it. But so that's the concept that we've got. But I've just got to get it together and actually get on the road, because I want to obviously get back out around Victoria, but also I want to push a bit further north, up into New South Wales and up into Queensland. Definitely want to get down into Tassie.
Yes.
That's right. We've already been working at that, because you can still drive the ute under the Spirit of Tassie, and we'll take it across.
You can. There's plenty of room down here.
And then for the people over in South Australia, we're also sort of looking at doing a quick duck out that way as well. Unfortunately, WA and Northern Territory probably a little far at the moment, but if we can get enough people interested, we'll do anything.
Yep, absolutely. So there you go. Everyone that's in those areas, jump on board and and let Benny know, because if he can get him there, I'm sure he'll go.
Well, yeah, that's it. I'm open to invitations. So if people want me to play somewhere, please shoot me a message via Facebook, and we'll have a chat and we'll see if we can get something organised. Because otherwise we'll start planning what we think is a good idea. But if you've got a bunch of mates and you want us to come play, shoot us a message and we'll try and organise something.
Perfect. Well, my birthday. That's not, it's a little way away, but we can book you ahead.
Plan these things.
Well, mine's New Year's Eve, so we'll be fine. That'll be a great night. So, well, tell us a little bit about, I guess the album as a whole. Let's start with the album as a whole, and then we can get to your single. How did this album come about? Were you writing for a long time? Did you have anything in particular that you were aiming for with the album, or how did it go?
Look, I've always written my own songs, and that's just something that I've always done. I used to play in bands when I was a bit younger, which were more sort of alt rock and grunge and that sort of thing. So Pearl Jam covers, Faith No More, then did originals that were in that same sort of genre when I was in my rebellious youth. And then had this big hiatus where I still played piano at home and, sang Billy Joel songs to the kids and did all that sort of stuff. But wasn't actively playing. And then I joined a band a couple of years ago that was an alt rock band here in Melbourne. We did what all bands do and eventually imploded. And around that time, I played one of my old songs that I'd written for the guitarist in the band, which is a song called Yellowstone. And he's gone, you know what, that sounds like a country song. So we went and recorded it just for fun. He's quite good as a producer as well. And so we recorded this song and I thought, what do I do with it now? And so we got a bunch of CDs and sent them to country stations in Australia, and then also sent a bunch of them over to Wyoming. Turns out there's 10 country radio stations in Wyoming, which is the home of Yellowstone National Park. And so next thing you know, I'm getting airplay over in Wyoming, I'm getting airplay here in Australia, and I've just suddenly gone, oh, wow, this is pretty good.
This is great, yeah.
So then started applying for stages up at Tamworth for the 2018 festival and got accepted into a couple. I think it was because I was doing something different where I was bringing my stage piano up, and I think that was a bit different to just coming in with an acoustic guitar and singing songs at people. So I think they were happy to let me come up as an unknown because I was doing something different. And then also thought I'll apply for this Academy of Country Music that I'd read about. And next thing you know, I got accepted into that as well, and went along to that and just absolutely had my world turned upside down in terms of the exposure to both the current big artists and the mentors that we had there, as well as the grad class that we had that year was just absolutely amazing. And to be exposed to that level of people as well, and you just suddenly go, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You found your spot. You found your groove.
That's it. So, as I said, always written songs though, which was the question that you'd asked.
Oh no, that's it.
And so, when I got back from Academy, I'd managed to. While I was up in Tamworth, I'd written Day One of Missing You with Alan Caswell while I was up there. And that's the opening track, obviously, on the album. Quite a few. There's probably half the songs that are brand new songs that were written, not written for that album. I tend to write organically. If I hear an idea, I just go, oh. And I definitely agree with you, Beck. Greatest Academy class ever. Yeah, forget this, yes, ever.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're putting a pin in it right now. Things like I'd already written Thank God for Saturday and a couple of the other ones in that sort of last 6-month period before I went up there. But some of the songs I'd written 15, 20 years earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
that's
When You Say I Do and Shelter from the Rain, 15 to 20 years old.
Wow.
I'd written them that long ago, but I knew that I wanted to have them on the album, just because of the type of song that they were. Shelter from the Rain is one that I'm particularly happy with how it came up on the album, because even as I was recording it with Matt Fell, he was listening to it and going, nah, this one's a big production. This one's going to build and it's going to evolve, and it really did that so beautifully. And it's one of those songs that I think I've got more of an attachment to it because I quite often write based on things that have happened around me. And even though they still evolve into a story that I make up sometimes or I change it, Shelter from the Rain was one of these ones that I'd written because at the time I was probably 20-year-old Benny who was sitting there writing all these love songs about how he wanted to have a girlfriend. So I thought I've got to do something different. I'm sick of writing all these ballady love songs, and I thought, I know, I'll write a little story and I'll turn that story into a song. And so that's what Shelter from the Rain was. It was just I sat down and wrote a little short story and went, "Yep, that's what it's going to be."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so as I said, it's a mixture of old songs and new ones, but I don't particularly aim to write things for a particular subject. It's just if something pops into my head, it usually comes out pretty quickly, and I get the bare bones of a song down really quickly after that.
Okay.
I'm just fortunate that's the way my head works.
Yes, yeah. So it doesn't take long. Those songs that you had written so long ago, did you perform them before this album, or was they just something that you had put away and you had sort of forgotten about for a while?
I think I've played them over the years, but as I said, I'd had a good 15-year break from actually doing any performing. And when I had performed them, it was more when I'd done a few things where outside of the alt rock sort of stuff, where it was just me and a piano. If I found out there was a bar somewhere that had a piano in it, I'd see if I could play there when I was younger, going, yes, I'm going to be the piano man. Yeah, unfortunately, Billy Joel had that taken, but yes, that was the idea when I was younger.
Oh wow! So, all right. So you've had a lot of interesting things about this album, but tell us a bit about the single you're about to release. Where did that start? What's that all about?
Well, Never Knew I Was Country, which again, name of the album, but that's because when I wrote this song, I went, yes, that's the title track. It's got to be it. And it was literally, I'd come back from my first Tamworth. I had just done this academy program, came back to Melbourne, and I was all inspired and just going, wow, how did I get here when I never knew I was country? Hang on, there's an idea. That's the song. So I think it was that February of having got back from that first time in Tamworth that I sat down and, that's what came out. And it really is, it's quite a autobiographical song because, literally talks about how I grew up listening to Billy Joel and the Beatles and Elton John, the music my parents listened to, and how it's evolved into writing country songs and not realizing as well that the music that I was writing, just slotted into this country genre perfectly. Because to me, if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, country, and I'm not wanting to offend anyone, it was just in my head, country was banjos and fiddles and that sort of thing. And it's then suddenly once I was immersed in it and I started going, oh no, actually I know this music. I've listened to this and I've heard this. And the more I listen to it, the more, I suddenly go, no, this is what I want to listen to now. It's what I, particularly noticing that a lot of what I write fitted into that genre because of I think the storytelling that's involved in country music. It's a really common theme for me is that the really good songs seem to have that story through them. And that's a lot of what I was writing they were little short stories that just happened to go to a tune.
To music, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. People have that vision of country music, and then they hear the songs and they're like, "Oh, I really like this song because it's on mainstream radio," and they're like, "Well, that's country," and even better, that's Australian. So people.
I think the crossover that we're now getting into mainstream from country is just fantastic. It can be nothing but good for the industry, for everyone involved. It just raises the profile for everybody.
It's great because it's so broad now that it's all ages, it's all people from all areas of the world and all areas of life, different stages in their lives that all are listening to this amazing stuff. And and most of it is country. You hear so much about it. It's great times to be in music, really.
Absolutely.
So we've talked all about this single. Would you like to play the song for us?
I just happen to have something.
You just have something you prepared earlier. I'm just going to pop myself away for a little bit so that you can have the whole screen. And
it's going to be a full screen, Betty.
Full screen now. Sorry. I hope you've arranged the camera for this.
We'll find out, won't we?
We will. All right.
All right, here we go with Never Knew I Was Country. always find me singing a song. Grew up with Billy Joel, the Beatles, and Elton John. When I started to write my own words, well, I found the sounded absurd. I never knew I was country till you came along. Never knew I was country. Never knew I was country. Never knew I was country till you came along. I know this is gonna sound like it's some kind of line. You came along and saved me just the right time. While I sit here singing my song, I don't care if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I never knew I was country till you came along. Never knew I was country. Never knew I was country. Never knew I was country till you came along. 5'2" running shoes has it way up and high. Black feet, goofy smile, but I'm your kind of guy. And I never knew I was country. Never knew I was country. I never knew I was country till you came along. Never knew I was country. Never knew I was country. I never knew I was country till you came along.
Wow, thank you. What
Thank
a great
you.
song. Fantastic song. We've had a lot of people tuning in, and we've got Graham has popped in, and we've got Wade from the USA watching. What time is it over there, Wade? What time are you? Is it early morning? You must be up really early.
It depends on where it is. It's got to be about 3 o'clock in the morning, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. I saw that come. Am I wrong? Am I at the wrong time of day? Because I have no idea what day it is half the time, let alone what time it is. So
that'd be 3 o'clock Sunday morning. Wade's just got home from a good night out.
Yeah, it may be. Well, he could still be out. He might be listening to those beer songs and let us know what time it is and where you are, Wade. Graham said, "G'day, Benny," and there's quite a few people popping in. I haven't been able to get through them all because they've gone too quickly. It's 6 a.m. Whereabouts are you? 6 a.m. So I don't know. I don't know where that would be. I won't even pretend to try and figure it out because I haven't got a clue. So, Orlando. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh well. Have you been to bed? I hope so.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Wade. We really appreciate it.
He said he's just in the door. He's just got back in the door. Wow. What a great way to end a good night out, listening to Benny Allen. Oh, dear. Well, you're planning on heading to Tamworth this year. You know that's a plan. So people that you haven't got gigs booked in yet, but they can keep an eye on Tamworth and they can keep an eye on Guessing Your Page to see when things are popping up.
Definitely. So if they go to my Facebook page, which is the BennyAllen.rocks,
yep.
Will have any events and shows that we start putting together. Obviously, I'll promote the hell out of them as well.
Yeah.
Also, my website's the other one, BennyAllen.rocks, and as well. And if people want to subscribe to the website, then we can do a mail out as well when we do start to put events and stuff together. I'm not going to spam everyone, but it's just enough that if we go, hang on, we are going to do a tour and get on the road, we can send something out so that 'cause you know what it's like with Facebook. Sometimes you miss things that go out in the world. So that way, we can get it out to people still.
It's really frustrating with the way that Facebook is now, and people think, oh, these people aren't posting anything, but quite often they are. You're just not seeing it. So always check out the sites and even web pages. Tell us, can we buy your album? Where can we get that from?
Absolutely, you can buy my album. We have CDs, and as well, we also have a small batch of vinyl that we did, which is getting smaller because the vinyl is very popular. It turns out. So, via the website, the BennyAllen.rocks, people can purchase the album there, the CD, and also the vinyl. You can also buy digital versions via the website as well, and then you can also get it via the normal streaming and buy it through iTunes and all that sort of thing too.
Wonderful.
It's basically shoot me a message if you want to get it. I will work out a way to get your money off and get some good music to you as well.
That is fantastic. Do you have other merch at the moment that people can buy? Do you have different types of things or just albums?
Yeah. Look, the big one that we've got at the moment is the Thank God for Saturday T-shirts, which are also quite popular. Working on doing a batch, like before we go out on the road, I've already sort of been working through the merch ideas. I've got that planned better than I have the actual touring. So we're going to do the Grab Yourself a Drink stubby holders.
Yeah.
We're going to also do up some trucker caps as well, which we're still working on what's going to go on those at the moment. But yeah, we're definitely putting a line of merch together because I'm really fortunate that people seem to like listening to what I do and being supportive and buying both the music and the merchandise that we make. So it's just fantastic to be able to do that. Thank you so much, Rod. Appreciate it, mate.
I think you should do shirts with I never knew I was country because there are so many people that say that now. You hear that everywhere. People are like, oh, I love this song. That's country, and they don't realise. So the hats or the shirts or the little
definitely. We did consider the Never Knew I Was Country T-shirts at one stage as well, and maybe we'll look at that. That'd be pretty good if everyone's walking around with their Never Knew I Was Country.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? That would be wonderful. I can't believe we've been half an hour just about already. The time on these shows fly and I never have enough time. So if anyone got any questions, quickly throw them up and we can ask them. But maybe we might be lucky enough that Benny might join us again later in the year or when
I'm happy to have a chat whenever you like, Danny.
That would be wonderful. And maybe live from one of your shows one day. We might be able to do a live chat and see one of your gigs and go live. That would be wonderful for everyone.
Particularly if we're able to bring one down to Tassie.
Oh, well, that would be, I think we could organise something actually. We have some gigs coming down this weekend.
After this is finished then.
We definitely will, because I think we can definitely arrange something. We've actually got a couple of gigs coming up this week in Tassie. We've got the Tin Cup Country. We've got their gigs on Friday night in Bridport and again in Saturday. And I think it's at the Oak this year, so this time. Yeah. So we've got some great music coming down this way all the time and people are just loving it. So we can get you here. Watch this space, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. We will be back tomorrow. But thank you, Benny. If we can get everyone to go over to your Facebook page now and like your page if they haven't already so they can keep a track on where you are. That would be great. And thanks, guys. We will see you tomorrow night. We've got the Pigs joining us finally. We've finally managed to nail down time where we're not changing it. So we will have them with us tomorrow night. And it will be 8 o'clock tomorrow night as our normal time. And we'll discuss the changing of times through the week. But thank you again, Benny. Let us know. Pop the link up where they can get the single from. On our page if you like, so people can click through that and grab that single before that comes out. And we'll see you all next.
Single's out. It's available now. So call up your favourite radio station and request it. And go to iTunes or go to my website and you'll be able to get yourself some music.
Just before we go, we might actually just touch that and explain, because I know everybody is always asking. We normally do single releases before they're out and pre-sale. So the album is already out. That was released in November, but the single is what Benny's putting out
What
now
we're
for
actually
radio?
doing at the moment, is a radio release. So we're putting it out to radio so that hopefully radio play it and that you can call up the station and ask for the song. Obviously, it'd be great if you then go and buy the album based on that. But yeah, it's largely to do with trying to get some more of the music out there and get it being played to people. And particularly after day one of Missing You was a little bit more of a slower, more somber song, as was We Will Remember, that I released for Anzac Day this year.
Yes.
But now we're doing a happy song.
Happy song. And it's a really happy song. It's a brilliant song. So request away all your radio programs. Whoever you listen to, get onto them. Keep requesting, and hopefully we can see that fly up the charts before the end of the week.
That'd be awesome.
It'll be fantastic. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
All right. Thanks so much.